my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
Hi everyone, Charles here with you on a Saturday evening. Well, I was just watching a video, and part of what it said was something I'd never heard before, and it's a statement in Amoris Laetitia, or Latitia, or however you pronounce it, that's written in here, and it really is somewhat overlooked. I haven't heard, this is the first time I've heard anything about this statement. It refers back to, if you remember, 2 days before Good Friday, just several months ago, Eugenio Scalfari published an interview with Pope Francis. This was a private meeting, and this is like the third meeting he had with the Pope, where he said that the Pope told him that there is no hell. And, of course, this made headlines around the world. It was really a big deal. And, of course, you know, nothing, the Vatican or the Pope didn't say anything about, well, no, I didn't say that. He got it wrong. All the Vatican says about these kinds of private meetings is that we don't discuss what the Pope talks to somebody in a private meeting about. So that was just the end of that. What he says in Amoris is, no one can be condemned forever because that is not the logic of the gospel. This is chapter 8, number 297. The second sentence says this. Well, you know, I mean, after 2 seconds, you would say to yourself, well, why did Christ die on the cross? Well, what was it he was saving us from if there's no eternal damnation? This is absolutely amazing. You know, this is absolutely amazing. You know, what can you say about this? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is, why would the Pope say such a thing? That goes against, you know, I mean, this is like, you know, questions why Christ even died on the cross. You know, to say it's not the logic of the gospel. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I'll wait a second here while you pick up your jaw off the floor. Now, here's the question that Scalfari asked him. Your Holiness, in our last meeting, you told me that at a certain point, our species will disappear, and God, always using his creative seed, will create other species. You never spoke to me about souls who die in sin and go to hell to suffer there for eternity. Instead, you spoke to me of good souls who are admitted to the contemplation of God. But what of evil souls? Where do they go in punishment? This is what Francis said. They do not go anywhere in punishment. Those who repent obtain the forgiveness of God and go among the ranks of those who contemplate him. But those who do not repent and therefore cannot be forgiven vanish. Hell does not exist, only the disappearance of sinful souls. In other words, like the annihilation, I suppose, of a sinful soul. So, you know, the reason I'm bringing this up is, again, look at the big picture. Now, why would Pope Francis say such a thing, knowing that it's going to be reprinted all throughout the world in the secular press? You know, I mean, can you imagine how many people that there are saying, hey, there is no hell, there is no punishment, I can live my life the way I want, there is no sin, I'm not going to be punished. Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy my life, and so what? You know, I don't care about, contemplating God for eternity. I just want to enjoy my life, and when it's over with, I'll become the food of worms. You know, I wonder how many people said that. It's absolutely amazing, you know. I mean, I personally think that he knows exactly what he's doing, what he's trying to do, which is to drag as many souls to hell as possible. And there are a lot of us who think this. This is all part of him being the false prophet in the book of Revelation, who's going to team up with the Antichrist to make this secular kind of quote-unquote church, you know, that has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. I mean, you know, just take a look at my last video. What is the World Youth Day about? Immigration, global warming, all right? These are all secular concerns. You know, this is the kinds of things that this papacy wants to discuss with young people. You know, nothing about holiness, you know. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. Well, to me, you know, the fact that this appears in Amoris Laetitia just confirms to me and makes me feel, instead of being 99.9% sure, it's like now 99.999% sure. you know that he knows exactly what he's doing, that he has an overall plan to confuse Catholics, and at the same time confuse Catholics to the point where they just go, well, we're just, you know, whatever, you know, let him do what he wants. And at the same time, for the secular world, just, you know, become friends with the secular world, so they'll join his one world religion that he's making. You know, part of this has to do with, you know, I don't want to get into this too much. I don't want to get you off on another tangent here. But, you know, all this has to do with what he's done with sin is really, you know, play it down, and with the what he's done with changing the catechism about the death penalty, putting the dignity of man over what God said many times in many different ways in the Bible about you know, capital punishment. Not only giving countries the right to take the life of another person, but actually it's in obedience to God. You know, it's the just obedience to God that we need to pay attention to, and you know, to put the death penalty and this whole concept of human dignity above what God says in the Bible. I mean, you're saying, well, you know, what he's really telling God, what the Pope is telling God, is that, no, you're wrong. Human dignity is above, okay, what you're saying in the Bible. I mean, you know, think about that for a minute, you know. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. I really wish, I mean, I wouldn't be the one to do this, but perhaps somebody has already done this. There are just so many things that if they were all put in one place, I mean, I think we, you know, if we read all this in a book or something, you know, all these different things that he's done over these 5 years, I mean, we all just would get physically ill. We couldn't even finish, I don't know how many pages we could get through, but it's absolutely amazing. Well, people believe what they want, and, only God can wake up people who just think the Pope is the greatest thing that ever happened to the Catholic Church. Well, that's all I'm going to say about all this, so we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.